The 1950s was an absolute crucible for the British automotive industry. The country was still visually and financially scarred from the hardships of World War II. Factories were operating under strict post-war material rationing, and the UK was desperate to prove its engineering sector wasn't obsolete. But you don't reclaim global dominance by just building the same old pre-war luxury carriages. Out of pure necessity, British engineers started taking massive, unproven gambles on radical technology. At the time, many of these ideas were laughed as quirky, unnecessary, or downright dangerous experiments. Yet, if you look at a car parked in your driveway right now, it is guaranteed to feature engineering DNA pioneered by these 10 1950s British icons. Let's dive into the machines that quietly rewrote the rules of global motoring. Number 10. Rover P4. When Rover rolled out the P4 in 1950, it looked like the ultimate conservative gentleman's express. It featured a beautifully rounded silhouette, an upright chrome grille, an interior lined with heavy leather and polished wood, and a whisper-quiet six-cylinder engine. It was the absolute default choice for bank managers and government officials who wanted to look successful without being flashy. But beneath that old-money aesthetic lay a radical solution to a desperate problem. Because steel was heavily rationed and incredibly expensive in post-war Britain, Rover's engineers couldn't build a car the traditional way. Their solution? Make the hood, the doors, and the trunk lid entirely out of lightweight aluminum. It was a massive gamble at a time when mass-production aluminum was uncharted territory for family sedans. But the experiment paid off beautifully. The aluminum panels shaved massive amounts of weight off the car, didn't rust when exposed to salty British winters, and made the heavy saloon handle with shocking agility. Today, every premium SUV and lightweight sports car on Earth relies on the exact same aluminum philosophy Rover used out of sheer post-war desperation. Number 9. Standard Vanguard Diesel. If you told a motorist in 1954 that you were putting a diesel engine into a comfortable family sedan, they would have assumed you were completely out of your mind. Back then, diesel was reserved strictly for heavy agricultural tractors, loud city buses, and filthy industrial machinery. They were heavy, vibrating, smoke-belching blocks of iron that no sane person wanted near a civilian driveway. The Standard Motor Company flatly rejected that logic. They took their popular American-style Vanguard saloon, a car loved by families for its massive cabin space, and dropped a rugged, highly efficient diesel engine right into the bay. It was slow. It was undeniably loud at idle. But for high-mileage commercial travelers, taxi operators, and business owners, it was an absolute game-changer. The Vanguard diesel could cover staggering distances on a single tank of fuel, offering running costs that petrol cars couldn't even dream of matching. It essentially birthed the entire concept of the high-efficiency European commuter car decades before the rest of the world caught on. Number 8. Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire. Armstrong Siddeley was an elite outfit that built two things: ultra-luxurious motorcars and high-performance jet engines for fighter planes. So when they launched the Sapphire in 1953, they didn't just want to build a comfortable executive cruiser. They wanted to build a technological showcase. The interior was pure old-world elegance, thick wool carpets, heavy walnut trim, and seats that felt like premium leather armchairs. But the real magic was a tiny electronic toggle switch sitting right on the steering column. Instead of a massive, heavy manual gear lever growing out of the floor, certain Sapphires utilized an electrically operated pre-selected gearbox. You would click the tiny lever into the next gear before you actually wanted to shift, and then simply tap the floor pedal when you were ready for the mechanical magic to happen. It was an incredibly advanced way to reduce driver fatigue and prove that electronics could successfully manage heavy mechanical gearboxes. Every single modern paddle shifter, electronic dial selector, and dual-clutch transmission on the market today traces its philosophy straight back to this jet-age luxury cruiser. Number 7. Jaguar Mk1. In the mid-1950s, if you wanted to build a fast luxury car, the blueprint was incredibly archaic. You built a heavy, ladder-style steel chassis, bolted a heavy engine to it, and then dropped a heavy steel body shell on top. But when Jaguar engineered the Mark I in 1955, they decided to completely blow up a traditional manufacturing playbook. The Mark I was Jaguar's very first foray into unitary monocoque construction, what we know today as unibody design. Instead of two separate pieces bolted together, the body shell was a chassis engineered to provide its own structural strength. The results were immediate and staggering. By eliminating the heavy separate frame, Jaguar created a car that was massively lighter, structurally stiffer, and incredibly safe compared to its rivals. Paired with a legendary XK straight-six engine, the Mark I became a devastatingly fast four-door rocket that handled like a genuine sports car while holding a family in leather-lined luxury. Today, virtually every single passenger car on the global market is built using this exact unibody philosophy. Number 6. Triumph TR2 and TR3. Sports cars in the early 1950s were becoming incredibly fast, but the technology used to slow them down was stuck in the dark ages. Cars relied on enclosed drum brakes, which worked perfectly fine for a trip to the local shops. But if you were driving hard down a mountain pass or racing on a track, the heat would get trapped inside the drums, causing the brakes to completely fade out and leave you with zero stopping power. Triumph realized this was a lethal flaw. When they updated their popular, lightweight TR Roadster line, they teamed up with Dunlop to try something revolutionary. They bolted exposed hydraulic disc brakes to the front wheels as standard factory equipment. The TR3 became the first mass-produced production car in history to offer this tech to the general public. Suddenly, drivers could slam on the anchors repeatedly from 100 miles per hour, and the exposed discs would shed the heat instantly, providing crisp, consistent stopping power every single time. It completely transformed driver confidence and permanently changed automotive safety standards across the globe. Number 5. Jaguar C-Type. While Triumph was figuring out how to put disc brakes on affordable roadsters, Jaguar was proving the exact same technology under the most brutal conditions on Earth, the 24 hours of Le Mans. In the early 50s, Jaguar's gorgeous aerodynamic C-Type was a masterpiece of lightweight tubular chassis design and twin-cam power, but it was being outsped on the straights by massive American V8 engines. So, Jaguar decided to outbrake them instead. In 1953, they rolled up to Le Mans with a secret weapon, experimental hydraulic disc brakes developed secretly with Dunlop. The strategy was brilliant. While the heavy, drum brake-equipped competition had to start slowing down hundreds of yards before every corner to avoid melting their brakes, the Jaguar drivers could stay pinned on the throttle, brake violently at the last possible second, and slice right past them. The C-Type absolutely dominated the race, taking a legendary victory and proving to every manufacturer on Earth that the era of the drum brake was officially dead. Number 4. Lotus 7. Colin Chapman, the fanatical founder of Lotus, had a singular, legendary mantra that defined his entire life: simplify, then add lightness. While the rest of the automotive world was trying to build larger, heavier engines to chase speed, Chapman went in the exact opposite direction. In 1957, he unleashed the Lotus 7. To call it a car is almost an understatement. It was essentially an engine, 4 wheels, and a steering wheel held together by a razor-thin tubular space frame chassis and aluminum skin. There was no carpet, no radio, no doors, and zero luxury. Because the car weighed next to nothing, it didn't need a massive, thirsty V8 to go fast. A tiny, highly efficient 4-cylinder engine gave the 7 the power-to-weight ratio to absolutely humiliate dedicated supercars away from the lights. The steering was psychic, the handling was razor-sharp, and it proved to the world that shedding mass is always smarter than adding horsepower. Every modern track toy and supercar manufacturer still bows down to the Church of Chapman's lightweight philosophy. Number 3. Aston Martin DB24. In the 1950s, high-end grand touring sports cars were built purely for romance and speed. You packed a tiny leather weekend bag, shoved it into a restrictive, letterbox-shaped trunk lid, and set off for the Riviera. If you had large luggage or family gear, you were completely out of luck. But in 1953, Aston Martin looked at their gorgeous DB2 coupe and decided to invent a completely new layout. They extended the roofline slightly and engineered a full, top-hinge rear door that lifted the entire back section of the car, including the rear glass window, out of the way. Today, we take this layout completely for granted and call it a hatchback. But in 1953, putting a utility door on a high-end luxury sports car was an absolute jaw-dropper. It allowed wealthy owners to fold the rear seats flat and slide massive suitcases directly into the cabin without sacrificing an ounce of Aston Martin's legendary elegance or straight-six performance. It proved that practicality and high art could live in the exact same vehicle. Number 2. Land Rover. Shortly after the war, the Rover Company needed a cheap, rugged stopgap vehicle to keep their factories running until the luxury car market recovered. They slapped together a utilitarian, agricultural machine using a basic steel ladder frame and surplus aluminum body panels left over from A-crop production. They called it the Land Rover. It was built to plow fields, pull logs, wade through deep rivers, and survive the absolute worst terrain on the planet. To ensure it never got stuck, they engineered a permanent, heavy-duty four-wheel drive system that could crawl over practically anything. Farmers fell in love with it. Militaries adopted it instantly, and explorers used it to map corners of the globe that had never seen a motorized vehicle before. But the true genius of the Land Rover was that it proved four-wheel drive capability didn't need to be restricted to military battlefields. It could be part of regular, everyday civilian life. That single, rugged post-war utility vehicle slowly evolved, single-handedly inventing the DNA for the entire modern luxury SUV market that completely dominates the roads today. Number 1. BMC Mini. Taking our absolute number 1 spot is a vehicle that didn't just introduce a feature, it permanently rewrote the physical architecture of the modern automobile. Following the 1956 Suez Crisis, fuel prices in Britain went chaotic, and the head of the British Motor Corporation gave designer Sir Alec Isagonis a seemingly impossible task: build a microscopic car that could comfortably hold 4 full-sized adults while using almost zero gasoline. Isagonis pulled off a geometric miracle. He took a conventional 4-cylinder engine, turned it completely sideways across the front bay, and drove the front wheels directly. He then pushed all 4 wheels out to the absolute bleeding edges of the bodywork. By eliminating the traditional transmission tunnel and long drive shaft, a staggering 80% of the Mini's physical footprint was completely dedicated to passenger and luggage space. It was a packaging masterpiece that handled like an absolute go-kart and completely captured the world's imagination. Look around you next time you are stuck in traffic. Nearly every single modern compact car, front-wheel drive sedan, and crossover on Earth uses the exact layout pioneered by this tiny British miracle. Ultimately, these 10 vehicles prove that real engineering progress isn't born in comfortable times. It's forged when designers are backed into a corner and forced to reinvent the world. Which of these historic British innovations do you think made the biggest impact on your daily drive? Drop a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you in the next video.